Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. In this tutorial we're going to look at one of the most common serverless patterns in AWS, and that's connecting API gateway to Lambda. But first of all, what does serverless really mean? It doesn't mean there are no actual servers, it means AWS manages the servers for you, so you don't need to worry about provisioning, scaling or patching, you just focus on running your code. Lambda is actually at the core of serverless. It's a function as a service that runs your code only when it's triggered, and you only pay for the compute time you actually use, which is milliseconds most of the time. So it makes it very cheap in comparison to other services like EC2. But in order to make Lambda accessible from the outside world, so in other words, how do you actually trigger the code? That's where API Gateway comes in. So API Gateway acts as the front door, and it accepts HTTP requests and also applies things like security, throttling, and logging, and then triggers your Lambda function in response. And hopefully this tutorial will make this basic concept easy to understand. To start with, we're going to create our Lambda function. So we'll come to Lambda by searching it in the search bar, and we're going to click Create Function. And we're just going to give it a name. I'm going to call mine Hello Lambda. I'm going to select the latest version of Python, which is 3.13. And Lambda always needs a role to perform its function. So if you've got an existing role, you can use an existing role, but it also gives us the option to create a new function. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to click Create Function. Is going to be a little bit of a delay here just while it goes off and does that. So we'll just wait for it to finish. Right, so here we are, it's completed. So I'm just going to close this prompt. So you should just see you've got Hello Lambda. And if we come down to code, what we'll see in this field is hello from Lambda. So you can change this if you like. It's not that important at the moment, but this is the response we're going to get when we set up our API gateway, and it calls the Lambda. It's going to return hello from Lambda or whatever you want to type in there. And now we're going to create our API gateway that's actually going to trigger the Lambda. So we're going to come to API gateway, which again you can search in the search bar, and we're going to click Create API. Then going to select REST API and build, and we can give this a name. So I'm just going to keep it the same just all the way through. So just going to call it Hello Lambda and create API. So now we need to create a resource. So again, I'm going to give the resource a name and just call it Hello Lambda. You can call it whatever you like and click Create Resource. Now we need to create a method. So we're going to click Create Method. And the method type is get, so we're going to get the Lambda function. So the integration type is going to be Lambda function. And then in this field, we're going to select the Lambda we just created. I'm going to come down and click Create Method. Okay, so once that's done, what you should see is what you see here. So you should have a client, so then you should have method request, and then you should see an integration request. You should see Lambda integration, and then integration response, and then we should see method response. Now all we've got to do is click Deploy API, click New Stage, give it a name. I'm just going to call Test, and then click Deploy. So what that's going to do here is give us a URL that we can invoke. So this is what the API gateway is doing for us. So you can see it's giving us a URL, which is HTTPS, which means it's got the security built in. And if we put that into a new browser, what we'll see is Hello Lambda. And this, if you see this, it means it's successfully called the Lambda, which again, we can check by just confirming that this is what we've got in the Lambda code. Before we go and terminate the resources we've created in this video, it's just to really summarize what we've done. That all I wanted to demonstrate was just how API Gateway can invoke a Lambda. The main reason being that serverless architectures are very popular in cloud computing nowadays, and this is one of the foundational concepts. So in future videos, we are going to move on to other things like connecting API Gateway to DynamoDB, and then after that, I'm going to bring out a video which shows how API Gateway can connect to Lambda and DynamoDB, and we're going to create a mini project from that. But in the meantime, we're going to just clean up these resources to finish the video. So we'll go to API Gateway, highlight what we've done and just click delete. Just confirm, and then we can delete this one. And then we're going to go to our Lambda function. And we'll just highlight, go to actions, and then delete, and just confirm. So yeah, as I say, there's more complicated demonstrations coming. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.